Hello, good evening. Kumusta ang mga tao diha nga nahadlok sa coronavirus o wa nahadlok? Tara ay wa nahadlok sa coronavirus. By the way, good morning, good evening, good day tanan. Asa mamong dapitas kalibutan ron if you understand Bisaya. Nagbisaya ako as much as I could. So, ang ako nakita karon is the fear of coronavirus. Now, I will just try to share everything I know about science or anything that I know about the topic. So, ang topic na to karon is virus. Unsa man jud ining virus?
Nakita dyan?
Akong ina kontrabida. Kontrabida na baguhan, first time nila nakakita na ako nga nag-video. Anyway, let's continue. What is a virus? Daghang tao nga nagthink nga ang virus kuno mamatay after pila ka hours. Basically, di man na siya mamatay kay wa man gyud na life. Wa man jud siya life in a true sense of a word. So di jud na siya mamatay. Probably they're talking of it will exist or thrive. Kay unsa man gyud ining virus? Virus is between living and non-living because pero mamili naman jud ta no? It's non-living. Now, the difference is naalang na siya nakasurround nga protein or either DNA or RNA nga kung mudikit siya og living cell, ang cell mahimo niyang makina nga mo-duplicate more copying machine. At the moment nga, especially this coronavirus, for example, inig mudikit siya sa living cell, mahimo niyang makina ang living cell to duplicate itself. So, basically, virus in itself is not living. Ug ang fear sa tao starts when the person is ignorant of the fact that every day we are facing with hundreds of thousands of viruses and bacteria. But why only now we fear? Simply because we lack the knowledge that every day we are facing it. Siguro lang, ang makita sa tao ang news feeds. Nahadlok ang tao sa balita kada open sa TV, bisag unsa nga channel, it's all about coronavirus. On the onset, pagsugod pa lang sa pag-tune in pa lang, it's coronavirus. Whether you tune into your television, you will tune into your radio, you will tune into Facebook or any print media or anything, there's coronavirus on the headline. Now, this thing will impact the mindset of people that cause the hysteria. Now, this is one thing that I want to share to people. Why? Because ang atong lawas, our body, our system, gikumpleto na siya sa magbubuhat sa dihang gipakataw ta. And that mechanism that God is giving everyone, every living being in the world, is called the immune system. Our immune system is already composed of more than 21 immune cells that fights the battle every day. So there are hundreds of thousands of viruses and bacteria every day that our immune cells are fighting. What you only need to do is to boost it. So basically, it's not the virus that kills people, it's your weakened immune system. So I'd like to share this idea to people to relieve the people from panic, simply because those panic starts from ignorance. Sorry to say the word, but it's the truth. It may be painful, but it's the truth. Let's face it. Because me personally, I worked in pharmaceutical for over 10 years. And yet, I was not educated. Even if I was educated from a very prestigious university, that doesn't guarantee that you are educated with what biology truly is all about. Because today, the pharmaceutical big pharmaceutical industries are the one owning the research, and therefore they only have to feed the minds of these medical practitioners. Sorry to say, this is not about doctors. This is about the capitalist who capitalizes on their research and feed it to people who are on the front lines. Maybe we'll talk it in another video for details, but for now what I'm trying to share is relieve yourselves from panic. You only have to take care to boost the immune system that God has given you so that these viruses cannot thrive in your system. This has no life at all unless you will give it a chance. And the only chance you will have it on your system thriving when you care less of your immune system. So maybe the details of how this virus move on, I will be discussing maybe on the next video that I will be creating. For now, let's first talk about the coronavirus. Now, this coronavirus is not sure whether there are speculations like ni siya biowarfare, man-made, deliberately released in the atmosphere, or so many speculations. But no one is sure. No one is certain. But the thing that since the inception, I'm so hesitant with, I felt there is the political agenda behind this. It may be, when we talk of politics, it's basically power. But I will not cast so much opinion on here. I will just share to you the fact of this feared virus. It's said to be novel, meaning it's new. It's new to the scientists. I don't know if they created this to become new, but basically it is said to be a mutation because coronavirus has been in existence since bacteria it was in existence also, which coexist with human. So why fear? Coronavirus basically is with itong quacknet bat. This is a virus that is present in animals, basically. And then they presume, or I don't know if that is an assumption, and they hypothesize that it transferred to pangolin, and then this pangolin or snakes, either of the two, transferred it to human, and that started in Wuhan. And if that is so the case, why for 40 cases in Wuhan, 14 of which have no contact with this, why they have acquired that? Why they contracted the virus? That's a big mystery. And yet, if we hypothesize that this coronavirus is airborne, then the logic will speak for it. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but the point is, there were 40 deaths, I think, in Wuhan, 14 of which are not connected with the other, and yet they contracted it. So the missing link there begged the question, is this not really airborne? Now, I saw one video from Japanese, I don't know if it was translated right, and they found with their camera that the droplets, especially when you sneeze, aching ka, it will diffuse in the air and then it will stay there for quite some time. I don't know exactly the time lapse, but the thing is, it's basically airborne. But this assumption that we have right now is something that we should not fear. Instead, we have to recognize this one fact. Let's ask ourselves, why 100 years ago, when there were no not this many medical practitioners, why people's lives are longer? Why now, where there are so many medications offered on the table, why lives are shortened years after year after year? Why? Is it not because we tried to make a counterfeit of what God has created? Because basically, if we have to come to realize, God already equipped us. And it puzzled me a lot. It confuses me a lot. What people keep on saying, they have faith in God. Now, I'm talking to those people who said they have faith in God. And on the other side, they fear so much. To me, it is very confusing. Why? When you truly have faith in God who created everything, why don't you believe that protection belongs to Him? And if it's your time to die, even at your dinner table, you will die. The thing that I'm trying to say here is that fear is deadlier than the virus itself. And that has been proven that our emotions, every time we feel the fear, it produces a chemical in our body. Kanang gitawag nato og either insulin or cortisol. That is the fight and flight chemicals that is present in our body. Which if that surges, it will ruin your system. O motaas gani ang insulin. If the insulin rises, then what will happen to those diabetics? Or those who do not have diabetes yet? Basically, diabetes doesn't exist unless there is this stress. Because this stress produces the insulin chemical in our system. Because that's way of coping. The system simply reacts, simply produce what the person believes and feel. So this fear produces two chemicals, either fight or flight. And these chemicals will kill people rather than the virus itself. So if you're aware that every day we are battling, in fact inside us 5 to 8% in our system are viruses. You have to validate that yourself if you don't believe it. But truth is, there are viruses inside you. In fact, polio vaccine is a virus. There are so many viruses that is synthetic, created viruses that is injected in so many bodies of kids. But why are you fearing coronavirus? And to be honest with you, this synthetic virus that they created more damage, but is not published. Why? Because the agenda there is basically business. Now, to boost your immune system, I keep hearing about we need vaccination, we need these vaccines. I think centuries before this time, there were no vaccinations, yet the lives are so long. So that means vaccination is a myth to me. I'm sorry to say that. Why? Simply because the vaccination that you're talking about is just a counterfeit, a creation of another virus that is injected to your body. And that viruses, if you have low immune system, instead of being healthy, you become sick with it. And it happened with India when they injected thousands of children with polio vaccine. Those kids become polio victims themselves. And that is not, in fact, strange to Filipinos. Dengue vaccine is another virus that is injected to hundreds, thousands, and the case is called off. I don't know where it is now. But the truth is, many died. It's a virus itself that is injected. It's a live virus, a synthetic virus created to fight to keep yourself immune, so that when the virus comes in, your body is already immune. But nobody knows it. I'm sorry to say, I work in pharmaceutical. And in 2007, my son became a victim of dengue virus. And that time I cannot forget, because my son was in ICU between giving up and holding on. May taning lang siya na 4 hours. And only then I understood that virus has no cure. Because basically, it's not a disease. I mean, it's not an illness. Viruses are just like bacteria. They are pathogens. They are intruders in our system. That the only way to get rid of them is to fight through your immune system. And there I started my research on neuropathy and homeopathy. And because of which, I tried to understand and tell people that the healing machine, the doctor, is just inside you. There are 3 doctors. One, the doctor that God has endowed you, and that's the immune system. The doctor that is your mind, the way you perceive the world. And the third is your heart, the way you feel and expresses the emotion. Because it's not the circumstances around you that matters. It's how you respond to circumstances. And whatever situation that we are in now, these are all products of our decisions in the past. And whatever our lives in the future is simply the product of our decisions today. If you decide to take care of yourselves, to boost your immune system, then you will have your self-healing. The other day, basically, I had the symptoms. And yet, overnight, I coped up. Why? Because I know that the healing starts within you, and taking in the supplements that God has given you. All the natural supplements is what God has instituted. The moment you create a counterfeit to it, then of course, you will get the result of your doing. So, I would like to hear your comments. And if I made a mistake of claiming, my apology. But whatever is that, I'm willing to stand corrected if there is. But please present to me a good argument to prove me wrong. Thank you so much and great day.